I never planned to be the SEC Coach of the Year. I never planned to be the National Coach of the Year. I never planned to be in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. I never planned that. 2 days before I was born, my biological father abandoned my mother and 2 older sisters, 12 and 11. It was a tough time. It was the start of the Depression, the Great Depression. He never wrote, he never called, he never came back. We had no contact with him whatsoever. My mother had a dilemma. The man that she married left her. What's she supposed to do? She came off a farm with an 8th grade education, moved into a little town called Minot. It was difficult to get a job, had to find a place to live. We moved into a 1-room apartment above a bar and a hardware store. She got a job as a maid and also babysitting. But that woman, in my years that she lived on this earth, not once did I ever hear her say a bad word about him. I think probably the final straw with her, she went babysitting one night. I'm waiting up for her. We only had one chair, so she asked me to sit in her rocker. It was kind of funny, and pulled up a footstool, and she said, "Son, I'm really embarrassed to tell you what I'm going to tell you, but I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made." I thought, my mother embarrassed. She never swore, she never smoked, she never drank, she never dated. What's she embarrassed about? She said, when these big shots come to pick me up, she said, I'm so self-conscious that they'll smell the mothballs in my clothes because we bought them at rummage sales, or they'll say to me, "Well, Mrs. Brown, what's your husband do?" She said, I don't want to lie, and I don't want to say, well, he left us. Well, where'd you go to college? She said, I don't want to say 8th grade. So what I do, son, this isn't right. Don't ever do it in your life. She said, I go look up big words in the dictionary. Then I study those the days before they come, and I write on 3x5 cards what those words mean. So when I get into their automobile to drive to go babysit for their children, she said, I inject these big words trying to make an image. Dale, don't do that. Because if you spend too much time polishing your image, you'll eventually tarnish your character and be an unhappy man. When I got the job at LSU, I didn't want to blow it. I had no credentials. I went to a small teacher's college. I never was a head coach in a major Division I school. So I tried to study the giants of the game in all professions, in music, in business, in coaching, you name it. And they all had the ability to lead without being, if you have to tell everybody you're the leader, you're not the leader. Great leaders don't build pyramids to themselves. Great leaders also, they have no business leading unless they know what servant leadership is. The greatest leader I knew personally was Coach John Wooden. Most Christ-like man I've ever met in my life. He never talked about it. He led it by example. He was tougher than heck. He was gentle. Some of you say to me, I can't believe he can be a coach. He's so gentle. And I said, hold on. The first sign of strength is gentleness. You don't have to grab somebody by the throat or, intimidate him. His intimidation was out of love, and the kids knew it. When I went to recruit, obviously they have to have talent. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly to people. I always looked at the player and said, would I want him babysitting our daughter? And really, I had phenomenal luck. I mean, was there some kids I had to suspend? Yes. But I never had a punk in 25 years at LSU. I could judge talent and character. The spiritual formation of the family is basically like a team. You don't win your children over by buying them things. You win your children over by listening to them. You don't win your children over with no discipline whatsoever. Tell somebody 6 times that you shouldn't do that, and he does it again. And it goes back again. One word. The most powerful force in the world by far. The only thing more powerful than fear is the boldness of faith and love. If you want to move from victim to victory, take your own shackles off. You don't shackle people, but we've become too free, allowing too much stuff. There's no guidelines. You can do that's fine. We don't talk to them about it. That's wrong. We've created our own monster. Now, how do we get out of it? Pretty simple. God first, family, love, faith. Now, those roll off your... Are you going to live a perfect life? Hell no. I'm 83 years old. I still am waiting for the day I can go to bed at night. And when I pray, I lived a perfect day.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but boy, I'll tell you what, you talk about 83-year-old failure. Here I'm sitting, I haven't done it yet. But I'm trying, and trying is important.